shining star. No matter who you are, shining bright to see what you can truly be, what you can truly be.
Mustache. I was the assistant coach. Jim Lansford was the head coach. I came to Excelsior Springs in 1967, and Jim was my principal. He later became the assistant or the coach, and he asked me to assist him in driving to the matches. I assisted for the rest of his coaching career, and got paid some, and some I didn't. It was just a volunteer, and I was delighted to do it. I later became the head coach, and retired in '95. I would like to thank the committee that selected us. I was very surprised when I got the letter saying that the 1975 team was to be inducted into the Hall of Fame here. And I was really surprised that I got to go along with it. So I thank the committee. I would also like to thank here tonight all the people that came with me. My wife, Sandra, my daughter, Deandra, her husband, Tony, my grandson, Wyatt, my granddaughter, Deandra, Keegan, my other granddaughter, Brianne, her husband, Jared, and my great-grandson, Walker White. I appreciate that they came here to support me and to support the team. I am going to skip through a lot of what I thought I would say. I would like to say how I got started in golf. My freshman year in high school, I ran track and figured out that running and vomiting. So consequently, my sophomore year, they started golf, and I decided, and that might be for me. Knew nothing about golf. I played 3 years at Stanberry. I went on to the University. I went on to Northwest Missouri State Teachers College, and played 1 year. Cost $40 to play because they played on a country club. $40 back then in 1965, 66, would have filled my gas tank up at least 10 times. You can see what $40 was back then. Well, I want to talk more about the 1975 golf team we have right here. I have had 48 years of forgetting and mixing things up. So if I say something is wrong, they can correct it. I have seen many golf teams in my career in the golf. But Bob Delano, Tim Jarman, Mark McNally, Andy Smith, and the backup Andy Say were probably the best that I've seen in all my life. I'd like to say a little bit about each one of them, very little, because I know them very little. Back then, coaches could not coach during the competition. Coaches could not follow the golfers during competition. So consequently, we just had the results at the end. But I did see them in practice, and I will have to say a little bit about them. Bobby was a junior, is that correct? Okay, I thought it was. Could have been my mistake. I remember him as one of that probably practiced the most of all. I think a little bit encouraged by his father. And I think he had some professional in Kansas City that helped him out too. He later, when he graduated from high school, he attended the university, or Arizona State University, and played 4 years there, 2 years there. And then after that, he played on the mini tour for about 15 months. And then he came back to our community and became a fine citizen. Tim Jarman, I remember him as a feisty kid that Coach Lansford had to keep his thumb on. Growing up across the street from the golf course, Tim had no choice but being a very good golfer. Tim played golf at Mizzou 4 years. Correct. And after graduation, became the pro at Excelsior Springs Golf Club, and later became the manager of Excelsior Springs Golf Club. Mark was a player, as I remember, who choked up on his clubs, and it gave him consistency in hitting the fairways and chipping. He was probably the best chipper I've ever seen, and he was also a good putter, which made him a very good player. He has become a community business person, or he later became that. Anthony, I remember Anthony as being tall, as you can see, a big swing. He attended the University of Missouri after golf, and he later had a career in golf as a Nike, I don't know exactly what he was, but I think he was a salesman. I don't know, maybe he got other things too, but he was in golf. I would like to cite, and I'm probably over time, but I'm going to cite one thing I do remember as an example. Anthony was playing fourth man on the team. And at Southview Golf Club, which no longer exists, shot a score of 2 under par. All the team was capable of shooting under par. And when the fourth player in a competition can shoot 2 under par, you know you have an outstanding team. They finished third, as you saw in the video, championship. They were undefeated for the year. This was quite an accomplishment, being third. Not first, second, but third, because at that time, we couldn't go out, the coaches couldn't coach, and there was no classes in high school golf. So they were playing against every golf team in the state of Missouri. I want to end by thanking the committee for inducting the 1975 golf team.
Maybe I'm wrong, I'm feeling
story that Coach Irons told is that's a pretty common front story that we tell. You can see the seams where the ball hit on my stomach. But I never finished the game. I was afraid some ribs were going to go made it. You're right. I remember attending my dad's induction ceremony, I think almost 18 years ago maybe, and I'm so proud to join him and all the other amazing men and women who have come before. And I would not have been able to do any of this without the amazing support system that I have. When you talk about support systems, mine was one of the best. Countless hours, driving practices, going to events. I think if I had $1 for every pitch that my dad caught throughout the years, we could all retire very well. There were many from our backyard and my yard. I can always hear my mom cheering for me no matter where she was in the stands. She was a former teacher and definitely had that teacher voice, so she made it heard. She was always one of my biggest fans, and I'm forever grateful for her love and support. And I had the privilege of having my dad as my coach for a lot of my adult career. And now having a 4-year-old right now, I don't know how he coached all of us as little girls for all of those years. God bless your patience, because that had to be rough sometimes. Having a coach as a parent, or a parent for your coach, is always a little bit tricky. We've had our fair share of butting heads over the years. A lot of times, one of them was a moody teenager, but we got through it, and the good times far outweigh the bad times. So fortunate to have had him support me in my career and just walk by me in that journey. Two of my other biggest supporters were my grandparents, Gary and Donna. They're out in there in the audience today. I think I can count maybe on one hand how many events they did not make it to. And there were a lot. They have traveled far and wide, not just for me, but for our entire family to support everyone throughout the generations. It's pretty special how much support they've given. People always ask me, did you just start pole vaulting when you were like 4 years old? Because obviously everybody knew of my dad and my cousin, Preston, the long legacy of that. And, I tell people, I wanted to do it, but actually not as soon as you would think. My dad was always really big on, finding that balance, trying not to get burned out. So he waited for me till I was ready. And I did it for over a decade, but never to pressure it, not as long as people think. And sometimes people forget that I played softball, because football takes a lot of the delight, but I played a lot of years of softball, and I love those. I'd also like to thank my stepmom, Hannah, whose timing into my life couldn't have been any better, and she's offered endless love and support ever since. And I'd like to thank Coach Irons. I'm so grateful for the support and the lessons learned and a lot of personal growth that was gained during our time playing softball together. She's an amazing coach, and I'm so thankful for all the hard work and dedication she has towards her students still. I'd like to thank Coach Haley for his support as head track coach. He's one of a kind and has left a wonderful legacy in the track program here. And I'd also like to give special thanks to Mr. Harlan. His education and support to all of the students goes above and beyond, and it's always meant so much. And last but not least, I'd like to thank my husband, Tyler, for all of his love and support. He came along around the end of my freshman year in college, and by default probably knows more about pole vaulting than a lot of the coaches out there. So thank you for going along with that and all of the support. And thank you so much to everyone who supported me through the years, man. I am so honored for this.
Peace up, A-Town down. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Hush. Let's go. get a little VI, keep it down on the low key. You should know how it is. I saw the shorty, she was checking up on me. From the game, she was spitting in my ear. You would think that she knew me. Decided to cheat. Conversation got heavy. She had me feeling like she's ready to blow. Watch out! She's saying, come get me. So I got up and followed her to the floor. She said, baby, let's go. When I told her, I said, Shorty got down, she said, come and get me. I got so caught up, I got you told me. Her and my girl used to be the best of all me. Next thing I knew, she was all up on me screaming. She's all up in my head now. Got me thinking that it might be a good idea to take her with me. She's ready to leave. Well, let's go. And I gotta keep it real now. Cause on the 1 to 10, she's a certified 20. But that just ain't me. Hey, cause I know if I take that chance, she swears it's gonna leave. But what I do is the way she dance makes Shawty alright with me. The way she I'm like, yeah, just work that out for me. She asked for one more dance, and I'm like, yeah, how the hell am I supposed to leave? And I said, Shawty got down, she said, come and get me. I got so caught up, I got you told me. Her and my girl used to be the best of all me. Next thing I knew, she was all up on me screaming.
I used to make many of wonderful decisions, problems, opportunities, however you would like to phrase those. No, I kind of laughed. I was like, I didn't know really what I wanted to say today. Just get up here, Travis Kelce it. Just go that route, but no. Really, I just want to say thank you. Like Hannah said, I've had an amazing support group as far as my family, my wife, my daughter, and amazing teachers, coaches, Todd Cooper, and many others throughout my high school career that were always there for me, always encouraged me, just gave me all the support I could. And a lot of my achievements and success came from that support. But I really want to thank the committee, Hall of Fame committee for Excelsior Springs for honoring me, as well as the many people before us, with the many grades that are here this evening, and many future Tiger athletes to come. So I think that is amazing. But I do remember it was my 7th grade year. It would have been Mike Snelling and Joe Grime. Todd Cooper came to them and asked them, hey, I'm looking for an athlete that's athletic, strong, a little crazy, and is a daredevil. So he came, well, both Mike and Joe said, hey, I have 2 athletes that might just be a good fit for you. And that was Richard Champ and myself. So we kind of dove into it, starting my 7th grade year, getting familiar, had the amazing opportunities to start learning from JT Eels, Preston, which Preston, another amazing pole vaulting athlete from the legacy of the Cooper family, Natalie Allen. There's several others that we all started to jump, learn, grow together. It was a great opportunity. But many, from going to Atkins camp, Cooper kind of pushed us all into many different directions. Atkins camp in Nebraska was another one, indoor. Pole vaulting, we went to Reno and a few other places a few years, so we always continued to excel me in the sport. Too many hours, too many countless hours in the spider box, doing different routines and drills at the Cooper compound. But a lot of my success was just by his guidance, and he was a great support to myself and all the athletes around us. Kind of like Hannah said with her husband, I'm sure you know more about pole vaulting than the average read just because of the family you're associated to, so kudos to that. But beyond all of it, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate being here today. Love all my support family, as well as past teachers and coaches. So Todd Cooper, thank you. And yeah, there's a few instances of me monkeying around in the gym. I think Big Panucci about had a heart attack when I was hanging upside down from the rafters, and he looked up and it was just like, what are you doing? Like, so that one got me in a little Big Panucci trouble, so I had to sit down from there. And then, but yeah, so I have some daredevilish tendencies, so I think that kind of helped me in my football career. But blessed to be here tonight. Once a Tiger, always a Tiger. So thank you so much. You guys have a blessed night.
My mother called me to her side. She said, son, you're growing up now. Pretty soon you'll take a bride. And then she said, just because you become a young man now, there's still some things that you don't understand now. Before you ask some girl for a hand now, keep your freedom for as long as you can now. My mama told me, you better shop around. Oh yeah, you better shop around. Shop around. There's some things that I want you to know now. I just as sure as the wind's gonna blow now, the women come and the women gonna go now. Before you tell them that you love them so now. My mama told me, you better shop around. Oh yeah, you better shop around.
I do want to recognize, some of you know Mr. Brown, Coach Brown, but he was dad to me. And even though he might have been my coach, he was still dad. So I will refer to him as that. I want to introduce our immediate family that came to represent this great honor that's been bestowed upon our family. His wife, my mother, Gail, is here. A lot of you know Gail. She taught many years here at Excelsior. His brother, Sam Brown, who's also a member of this distinguished group. My wife, Carla, and my kids, Alec, and Tyler, and Shelby. And I also have some grandkids that are out there, believe it or not. My sister, Ruby, who was on stage with me, her husband, Ron, and their kids, Abigail and Jake, are here. We all, as speaking on behalf of all of us, we appreciate this award. We're very humble, we're very grateful, and we thank the committee for recognizing Dad's contribution to Excelsior and to the sport and to people. I'll tell you, I never knew what my dad did. He never talked about it. He never said, hey, I did this, or I played this, or I once held this record. He was very humble, and he never spoke about it. So I didn't learn a lot of the things until later on in life. But what I did know was that kids would come to our house when I was a little boy, and they would talk to my dad. They might have had some issues at home, they might have had some problems just in life, but that's the kind of person he was. And that's the kind of person my mom was, and they invited all kids, and they loved all the kids here at this school. They weren't just coaches, they were educators, they were people, they were friends to this community. They loved this community, they grew up here, they lived here. Sam and Michelle, so I want to say thank you, especially you were Dad's friend from, I think you guys were maybe this tall. You guys were friends from the minute you were born, and he loved being on the field with you. He loved coaching with his brother, Sam Brown, and my grandparents, Dad and Sam's mom and dad, Margaret and Nile Martha. How great is it that they're looking down, Sam, and that their two boys are both in the same Hall of Fame? How awesome is that, you know? So I'll just tell you one story about Dad. I'll tell you exactly who he was, exactly, in one story. He scored 5 touchdowns in the game. You saw that up here. That record stood for 50 years. I think he kicked all the extra points that night, too. So, in a one-man show. So when he came back to coach with Vic, Panucci, who was a mentor to him, and they became peers, and they were great friends. Those two men loved each other. Dad was working the press box that night, and one of your players was having a great game. You guys were putting a beat down on somebody, and this kid had racked up 5 touchdowns. And Vic called up to the press box and said, "Hey, now it's early in the game. It's still not that. It hasn't been decided yet. I think I'm going to let the kid score another one, but I want to make sure you're okay with it." And my dad said, "If you do not get him in the end zone, we will not be friends no more." He said, "I've had my time. It's now this kid's moment." And that's how Dad was. And you know what? I didn't know that story. And the only reason I knew that is Dad didn't talk about himself. The only reason me and Mom knew that story is because another coach obviously was on the headset too, and he heard it. We had to hear it from him. He would have never said that to us. It was never about him. He didn't care. He just wanted to be on the field. He just wanted to have kids around him. He just wanted to contribute. So on behalf of my family, thank you to the committee, and we were very honored and very humble. Thank you very much.
This is the story that I think epitomizes his life. When I was about 6 years old, my mother hollered at him and said, "Paulie, we've got a renter that hadn't paid us for 2 months. We need to go see him." He lived in our farmhouse, had 3 little kids. He hadn't paid rent for 2 months. Got in the car, went out. He went up to the door, knocked on, the gentleman came to the door, and we thought there was a change of money. Come back to the car, my mom said, "Did you collect the money?" My dad said, "No." He said, "She talked me into loaning him $50. And so all the way through my childhood, the finances went to my mother. That was his story. So thank you guys very much.